Hi, welcome to the news segment for the Startup Shortlist newsletter. Michelle, welcome. Tell me about yourself and what you're doing with Terrier.
Hello, hello. I'm so happy to be here. I'm Michelle. I'm a product manager at Teria, which is a spatial data platform that produces digital twins. Way back in the day, I used to work in GIS and remote sensing, and then went and worked for various tech companies over the years. And I'm really excited to be back in geospatial with Teria. Yeah.
What are you building right now in Terrier? What's kind of like the focus there?
One of the unique things about Teria is that it solves a kind of persistent problem in the spatial data management space. In terms of spatial information, though, it's actually still an unsolved thing to be able to take lots and lots of different types of spatial related data and get an accurate response out the other side. But if you want to see that specific model on top of, say, Melbourne, like where it's sitting, if it's going to impact other stuff in a really easy way, that actually still doesn't exist today. This was an unsolved problem then. So, yeah, we're trying to kind of work in that space and solve that issue.
That's awesome and amazing. What's the one thing in a resume or application that makes you stop and pay attention to that person?
If people time to write a couple sentences, a couple of outreach notes, if somebody's clearly taken the time to write a personal message, helps me understand how their experience or their excitement is linked to what they think Teria might do by having looked at our stuff or looked at our website. That really stands out. If somebody goes and clearly took like your entire posting, got it to spit out some really long blah 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 words about something, not as interesting. Because AI is so easy to use nowadays, right?
Yeah, I think it's quite an important thing. Like I was having a conversation with someone before about cover letters and CVs
Mm.
and the importance of actually a lot of businesses are starting to look at cover letters a little bit more.
Yeah, 100%. Because often it's, say, it could go either way in like how someone presents. Maybe they do have the experience, but it's just not super clear
Yeah.
looking at that, what they've got in their resume. But a different problem is, oh, well, they actually don't have the experience, but like that cover letter gives you the chance to, maybe I don't see it in your background, but if you got something and make it clear.
What kind of questions do you always ask in an interview and what are you listening for?
It depends on the role, of course, but often there are things around communication and how you relate with other people, because obviously I can read something in a resume or something like that, but the next stage is figuring out how you might interact with people on the team or help the team make decisions. In particular, I think at a relatively early stage startup like this, can't have someone that can't communicate back to the team and work with the team well.
Yeah, I think communication in startup is such an important thing, and especially with
Yeah.
wearing multiple hats sometimes. What is a hiring mistake you feel people make when they're assessing candidates, when the candidates are considering if startup is actually a good place for them to work?
I think it is often that multiple hats thing. Like you're trying to find someone who's comfortable in a little bit of chaos, who's comfortable and excited about picking up different roles and jobs and trying stuff out. Like it's more problem solving. Like they might not have all the experience, but if they're happy to try and problem solve and like bird dog the solution to something all the way to done, that counts for a whole lot. Yeah. And that's someone who'll probably be happier at an early stage startup.
What does good culture actually look like day to day, and what kind of person would thrive at Terrio?
You have to have that early stage startup kind of vibe. There is a lot of things that change because we're trying to adjust to meet ICP, but it's a very complex problem space, and our customers need something that's reliable out the other side. And people really, really care about accurate metadata, accurate results. So you need to, I guess, be a bit analytical in that sense and be happy to look into detail and also say, oh, look, but if we're going to that was a prototype and we're done with it now, let's move on. Let's say we're also fully remote. You also have to be the type of person who's relatively self-directed and is happy to work from their home office and report back in independently.
Startups say that they want great products and go to market talent. Do they actually know how to hire for it?
It's a challenge to hire for any role that you yourself don't have experience in, if that's not where your background is, because it's hard to tell what great looks like if you haven't experienced that yourself. But you can also, like, they utilize a wide mentorship group. It'll fill that gap a little bit by reaching out to people in their network and saying like, oh, what would you look for in this role? How should we hire for it? Can you review some of the stuff? That kind of thing. So it makes it a little bit easier. You really do have to take that go to market very, very seriously, don't you? And
Yeah.
really upskill quite quickly if that's not your background, and do everything you can to be that kind of hustler.
Awesome. Thank you so much.